I was 17. 53 years ago, I entered the world of Louisiana to play tennis. And let me tell you, I hope I don't make it to hell, but Louisiana in the summer is hotter than hell. So if anybody's been there, you can judge that one way or another. All right. Rain Man is brought to you by Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, and been doing it well for over 50 years. And, of course, Rain Man is brought to you by Cousin Subs because they give you a $25 gift certificate for answering the 15 questions, even if you stink. They say you get your $25 even if you get none right. And you possibly could win Cousin Subs for a year if you win our 6-month competition, and that would be... Where are we at now, Pebble?
We're at 3, tied at 7, Homer.
And we've been that way for some time. Do we have a contestant? Not yet or yet?
What was that? You got cut out there for a second.
Do we have a contestant?
We do indeed. It's Josh and Jackson, Homer.
Josh and Jackson. All right. We'll have Jason Woolley later on, and then we'll also have Tim Van Vorn to explain to us the nightmare that was the Packers' loss to the Carolina Panthers. It's the Eagles, and yes, it has been mentioned, I think, by Mark Tauscher, and it's accurate, that apparently Las Vegas believes in the Packers more than everybody does who supports the Packers, like fans. The Packers are still, I think, Pebble, you can check on this, I believe they are still a 2.5-point favorite at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the general rule is, by professionals, whenever a betting line makes no sense, go with what they say.
You'd be correct, too. 2.5, Homer.
That would mean, I guess, you would take the Packers because certainly that doesn't make any sense. The Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, and they had some offensive issues but seem to have resolved that a little bit. Even in Green Bay, you would think that it would probably be a push or maybe the Eagles by a point. But Vegas says the Packers are much better than they played against Carolina. If they didn't believe that, they wouldn't be a 2.5-point favorite. All right, again, our great sponsors of Rain Man, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits, top-notch service, doing it well over 50 years, and Cousin Subs. As you get a $25 gift card, Josh will. And again, Saganiac Planning, a phone number you can remember. All you got to do is remember 783-262-783. Roger Maris, 6161.
That number again, 262-783-6161.
And joining me now is Josh and Jackson. Josh, as I tell every contestant, I really don't care anything about them other than their Rain Man resume. And
I have
never
never won, but I've been good enough to lose. I have never won, but I'm good enough to lose a tiebreaker.
Whoa. I know Vegas doesn't do odds on Rain Man, but I think Josh might break the 7. We'll see. The first question is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question, just about Marquette, and then the 14 other questions, whatever I decide. Right?
Yep.
All right. First question, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. I don't know, is there a delay? Am I missing anything, Pebble, or is it just me?
There should be a slight delay, but it shouldn't be much of an issue.
It should be okay. We'll adjust accordingly. You are the judge and jury because they don't let me decide any of the rules. First question is the Saganiac Planning Marquette trivia question. 3, 2, 1, go. His number 1 Marquette jersey will be put up in the Fiserv rafters this season.
Yes. Dominique James.
Incorrect. College football, top 2 ranked teams this week.
Indiana, Ohio State.
Correct. Wisconsin hosts Washington this Saturday. Is Washington ranked in the top 25, yes or no?
No.
Incorrect. Wisconsin 0-5 in Big Ten play. What 2 schools are 0-6?
Michigan State and Penn State.
Incorrect. Name the 2 Big Ten schools with only 2 wins this season.
Wisconsin and Michigan State.
Incorrect. Name the only Big Ten football team with a 6-0 conference record.
Indiana.
Correct. Among those with at least 6 games, he leads the NBA in scoring at 34 points per game.
Giannis.
Incorrect. He's played only 4 NBA games this season. He's averaging 41 points per game.
Luka Doncic.
Correct. He leads the NFL with 2,404 yards passing.
Sam Darnold.
Incorrect. He leads the NFL with 21 touchdown passes.
Pass.
How old is Jordan Love?
27.
Correct. What NFL head coach has a regular season record 33, 25, and 1 in the last 3+ seasons?
Matt LaFleur.
Correct. Name the 2 NFL quarterbacks with 80,000 yards passing.
Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers.
Incorrect. He leads the NFL career passing yards per game, 286.8.
Drew Brees.
Incorrect. Rushing yards per game, career. Who's higher, Jonathan Taylor, Walter Payton, or Derrick Henry?
Jonathan Taylor.
That's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6, Pebble.
I've got 6 as well.
All right, Josh is going to be disappointed. You're not a Big Ten football guy, huh? I don't think. All right, I do feel bad about
I'm more
this.
of a Michigan fan, but yeah.
Yeah, they didn't fit. They were not the answer to any of these questions.
Right. Right.
Would you have gotten this if I'd have said not only is his Marquette jersey going to put up in the rafters, he scored 40 points and a half for Marquette. Still,
I don't know why I'm blanking on it.
Marcus Howard.
Yeah.
Yep. College football top 2 team,
He was
top
number,
ranked teams.
he was
in the
number
country.
1 or number 0?
I thought he was 1.
Marcus Howard.
Pebble? This would be terrible. Don't know his number. I'm sure he was 1.
It might have been 0. Yeah, he was
Did you
0,
look it
Homer.
up?
Yep.
What?
He was 0 at Marquette.
What do we do? So that was wrong. Didn't even know his jersey number. That's horrible. I think, so I think we have to bring Josh back for next week. Because that would have been 7. If I'd have said 0, right?
Yeah, but we don't know if he would have said Marcus Howard if he would have said 0.
I think he would have. Wow. 4 years, I never remember, can't even remember.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking, but the number 1.
Yeah, no, we're going to bring Josh back next week. Anyway, wow, that could be the sign of the end, Pebble, don't you think? If you don't even know
the end
Marcus
of your
Howard's
career?
jersey number, right? I guess I'll remember it now as being so stupid. All right, let's see. Wisconsin hosts Washington this Saturday. Is Washington ranked in the top 25?
Yeah, they're 24.
23 and 24, yes. Wisconsin 0-5 in Big Ten play. What 2 schools are 0-6?
Michigan State and Purdue.
That is correct. Name the 2 Big Ten schools with only 2 wins this season.
Wisconsin and Purdue.
That is correct. You're nailing it. He got the only Big Ten football team with a 6-0 conference record, Indiana. Among those with at least 6 games, he leads the NBA in scoring at 34 points per game. This is a really hard question.
Is it Tyrese Maxey?
Tyrese Maxey is the correct answer. Yes, Luka Doncic is at 41 points. He leads the NFL with 2,404 yards passing.
Justin Herbert?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
So the Colts. He leads the NFL with 21 touchdown passes. It's not even close. He's way ahead of everybody. See, people don't notice it. Matthew Stafford. And yes, you got Matt LaFleur's record the last 3+ seasons, 33, 25, and 1. Name the 2 NFL quarterbacks with 80,000 yards passing.
Tom Brady and Drew Brees?
That is correct. He leads the NFL career passing yards per game, 286.8.
Patrick Mahomes.
That is correct. And career rushing yards per game. Jonathan Taylor, 90.9. Walter Payton, 88. It's probably the benefit of playing very, very long. And Derrick Henry, 83.7. Jonathan Taylor, career rushing yards per game, is better, as was said. So, Josh, you'll be back next week. And and I have to live with the stupidest answer ever in the history. Pebble, that is the worst mistake I've ever made.
It is, yes, yeah.
4
Considering
years,
You're the
Marcus.
play guy for Marquette. You watched his entire career.
Yes, but it proves I have no memory. The only jersey number I remember is 2. I don't know that I have it. I have no credibility left for the rest of the time. But number 3, I don't think I'll ever mess that up.
The only thing you remember about Marcus Howard is
because
the
Travis Diener was the greatest number 3 ever at Marquette. What?
The only thing you remember
24.
about Marcus Howard is the 40 points and a half.
That's
the
correct.
Big one.
But still, I got to live with it because it's on tape now till the end of time. What do you remember most about Homer? In his competition, he didn't even know what number Marcus Howard was, and I can't even lie. Even after it was suggested, I didn't remember. So it proves what I've always said. I don't have any idea of the jersey number. So, all right.
Costumes.
Excuse me?
Costumes, not jerseys. Costumes.
They didn't used to be costumes when they all wore the same jerseys. But yes, they're all.
That's your word, not mine.
No, they are costumes now. That you have no idea what team's going to wear. I mean, you watch Pittsburgh and Green Bay. If you didn't know, you wouldn't have known which team was which. And that's fine. It sells jerseys, I guess. But yeah, they're no longer uniforms; they're costumes. All right. Yes, I will say this. I'll never forget again that Marcus Howard was 0. All right, Jason Wilde next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We still have this accident eastbound 94 just past 84th Street's off on the right shoulder. Semis involved with this. Squads are on the scene. They're working this out, so just keep that in mind. It is heavy, basically from the Zoo interchange all the way to Hawley Road. On the westbound side, we got backups from 20th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, and then again from the Zoo all the way out to Calhoun. Eastbound 94, by the way, also still slowing down from Highway 164 all the way past Barker Road. And then southbound 43, heavy from before Good Hope Road all the way down to Bender, back on the brakes from Capitol Drive, down through the Marquette to the KK River. Traffic is brought to you by Life Navigators Soap and Suds Drive. Your donation of body wash, hand soap, or laundry pods will help local kids and adults with disabilities stay healthy all year. Learn more at lifenavigators.org. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, clear and cool, a low of 35. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with rain likely at night, a high of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
You know what goes great with the delicious taste of victory? The superior taste of a Michelob Ultra. Just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Join me, Will Summers, in the ESPN Milwaukee Street Team this Friday at Bullwinkles in Brookfield as the Bucks take on Chicago at 7 p.m. We'll have prizes, ice-cold Michelob Ultra, and a chance for you to win a pair of Ultra Club Bucks Suite tickets for a game later this season. Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of your Milwaukee Bucks. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee, Club Paragon in Greenfield, and Deer Camp in Milwaukee.
Time out on the field. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, a whole house of new windows for as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 6 years.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no extra interest.
And unlike opponents, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin actually stops the drafts.
Don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 11/30/2025.
Looking to heat up a career in HVAC? Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling in Milwaukee is now hiring HVAC installers and service technicians. Family owned and operated, Dick & Trough offers competitive wages, a 401k match, health insurance benefits, and a winning, positive team culture that sets them apart. This is more than a job. It's a chance to grow with a company that truly values its people. Apply now to become their newest team member at dickandtrough.com. Dick & Trough Heating and Cooling. Come see the difference. Apply at dickandtrough.com.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Love, Jacobs, McKinney, Golden, and now Micah Parsons? This year's gonna be fun. Now's the time to set a game plan for your Green Bay and Wisconsin pigskin parties. This is Marie from Discount Liquor. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Whether you need an ice cold keg, a bottle of your favorite wine, a unique craft brew, or hard to find liquor, we have everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow in Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store again.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
Wherever you're tailgating, we'll get you all set up with your favorite beverages. We're open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Rain Man is brought to you by Cousin Subs. Crispy chicken tenders are now available at Cousin Subs. Order today in store at cousinsubs.com or with the Cousins app. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yes, Jason Wilde will tell us why the Las Vegas odds say the Packers are favored by 2.5 points against the Philadelphia Eagles, even though anybody who follows the Packers, I think, would think that Philadelphia should be favored. Good afternoon, Jason.
Game's at Lambeau Field, man.
That's worth. They say it's worth 3 points, but if I was making the odds, the Philadelphia Eagles. Jim. Yes, or Slim Jim, that's right. Slim is no longer with us. Fat Jack is still with us. I would have the Eagles favored by a point.
Wait, Slim Jim is no longer with us, like he's just not on the show?
No, he passed away. Slim Jim passed away.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was at his funeral about 2 years ago, so yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I wondered where he'd been. Okay, well, R.I.P. Slim Jim. I'm sorry for not knowing about that. Yeah, the Eagles have been an imperfect team too. I'm guessing that whoever the equivalent is of Steve the Homer True, the GOAT of Philly sports talk, who would that have been? Howard Eskin? Was he the guy for a long time?
I think you're probably right. I don't know Philly that well. I mean, the legendary way back is Pete Franklin, but I don't think he was in Philly. I think you're probably right.
So what I'm saying is, and I don't know, I'm a little leery now bringing up anybody that's old, but I'm guessing that Howard, they do. I know, and it makes me sad. We need you to stick around for another 20 years. He did. So Howard Eskin, or whoever it might be, that's the equivalent of you, the GOAT of Wisconsin sports talk, is probably saying the same things about the Eagles as we've been saying about the Packers, right? Like they're 6-2, but they had the back-to-back losses. They have not been, in some games, very impressive. Their running game, with another one of the marquee backs in the league, has been inconsistent, right? I mean, you look at the season that Saquon Barkley had last year, over 2,000 yards. Not as much this year. Their offensive line has been inconsistent. So, this is why, and I know Matt LaFleur is not perfect, believe me. But one of the things that I really like about him is when he talks about how he doesn't expect guys to be, his team to be its best in September and October, especially in the world of what the NFL looks like these days with preseason and stuff. But we're beyond that point now. We're done with they're working their way into shape in terms of their form. Now's the time to be a good football team. And the Eagles have not only I think won their last two now. But on top of that, they've made some moves. And not just bringing Jair Alexander in a trade, but like some, the pass rusher they got from Miami yesterday, I mean, they gave up a third-round pick for him, and he was probably the best player that was available or that we thought was going to be available at the trade deadline, because I don't think anybody saw Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner getting traded. So,
well, I think you can argue if he's the best GM. He's certainly the most aggressive, and I would say he might be the best GM. Kansas City, pretty good. Yeah. I'll defer to you, but he's the one who believes in players.
And
would he be the exact opposite of Goody?
Well, he's also the GM who won a Super Bowl, so his aggressive approach worked. If his aggressive approach had resulted in them using up a bunch of draft picks and not having a title to show for it, then they'd be viewed differently, right? And so it has worked, and I think Howie Roseman deserves that accolade because, he was aggressive. He signed some guys like the Zach Vaughn signing.
Has he won two?
Was one of the smartest.
Was he there?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
When they won it with Doug Peterson as the coach.
Doug Peterson.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think the point is that they've been aggressive and it's paid off. Goody has gone with youth, and that it has paid off. I mean, they moved on from Rodgers and been to the playoffs the last 2 years. Jordan Love is a good quarterback, so his approach has not been some sort of abject failure, but he don't have a Lombardi trophy. And as I said to you this morning when you were on with us, without Tucker Kraft, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. I just don't. And
I agree.
If I'm proven wrong, congratulations to Packers fans. I hope I'm wrong. That'd be awesome for Packers fans. But I just think that is a major loss, and I'm very eager to see. Matt LaFleur obviously has been under some scrutiny after Sunday's loss. I'm super eager to see what he does in terms of utilizing the tight ends he has, who are nothing close to Tucker Kraft in terms of well-rounded tight ends, and what he does with all these wide receivers that, we've all been pearl clutching about the idea of, we got to make sure everybody gets targets. Well, there's a lot of targets suddenly available now because the centerpiece of your passing game is done for the year.
I said this morning, and I want everybody to look, and I want you to look to say, because I think what they need to do without Kraft is exactly what they did at the end of the game. I thought, pass, not give up the run, but maybe pass more, and the flow was quick. Musgrave was a part of it. They moved down the field.
He was.
And as far as you said, I think the goal this year, huge. The goal is to win the division. Given all that's occurred, win the division, because to me, you'd like stuff to happen this year. But this is, to me, a start of a process of being good for a few years to where, like when they got Reggie White before, they didn't do it the first year. But
correct,
they should still be good. And that means even if you lost to Philadelphia, you're still there to win the division, and that's going to be decided based on how good a team you are for the rest of the season. I think you just...
Yeah, and the Lions' offensive line, they got a bunch of injuries now. Obviously, we know what the quarterback situation is there, and the fact that Jared Goff is much better when he's not having to move, right? He is.
Yep.
You protect him, and he will eat you up. He is good under those circumstances. Well, how good is he going to be if, Penei Sewell's beat up and Decker's beat up, and then they lost.
Right.
They lost one of their guards for the season. So the division is there. Just because you lost Tucker Kraft doesn't mean you can't win the division. I'm just saying, because you lost Tucker Kraft, I don't think this is because I've had a few people say, well, Jason, what about when the 2010 team lost Jermichael Finley? And look, they did. Ask Mike McCarthy. They had to revamp their offense. In fact, I was thinking about calling Mike this week and asking him about it because I think Matt LaFleur probably needs to do something similar. But the problem
where was
that I
Jermichael
have with
Finley in terms of they weren't running the offense at the top through?
They were. No, they were. They were
really?
Because they were so they obviously still had Greg Jennings, who was their number one,
right.
And James Jones was an ascending player. Jordy hadn't really become Jordy yet, though. And if you remember in 2009, J-Mike was multiple times the best player on the field.
Yes.
He was huge in that playoff game that they got hosed on in Arizona. But my point is that the difference with J-Mike was that he was phenomenal. He was more like Luke Musgrave, though, than he is like Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft does everything J-Mike didn't. And I just think that's where his absence is. It's just different because you could do so many different things with Kraft, and J-Mike was a stud, but he was kind of a one-trick stud.
What are you expecting? What would you tell LaFleur to do? What do you think he's going to do? I mean, I think we
well,
saw
I do,
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretend that I don't like to agree with you, but that's more just a shtick. And in this instance, I can authentically say I agree with you. Like, now, again, I don't think, I believe you said when Brian Bulaga was on Monday that you just forget about the run. I don't care about the run.
Here's
something
just
to that
so
effect.
people know. What I said was this: like when you have a second half like they had, I don't care if you didn't run that day. You touchdown, field goal. I'm not thinking about anything that we needed to do better. We don't ever need to do anything better when you dominate offensively like that. Brian's looking more at the future, and yes, you're going to have to run the ball better than you did. And, I mean, I would say the same thing. You have to be able to do it in spots. But they just haven't seemed to be able to we're a running – go ahead. They've been they've been undeniably inconsistent. There's no question. There's been games where they got Jacobs going, or there have been games where Emmanuel Wilson's been really good, but they haven't been consistent. And I think that's more of an indictment of how their offensive line has blocked the run, and a factor of teams early in the season saying, we're not going to let Josh Jacobs beat us. And to your point about what they did in Pittsburgh, that was because you heard Mike Tomlin at halftime say that Josh Jacobs is the linchpin of their offense. We're not going to let him beat us. Well, congratulations. You didn't. You let Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft beat you instead. So I think if you look at what Carolina did, I think in the NFL, when somebody does something that works, people will mimic it until it doesn't work anymore. And based on the way their offensive line has played, I think opponents, including Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, is going to say, all right, we can stop the run with just 6 guys and sometimes 7 guys in the box. We can do it. We don't need extra population in there to stop Josh Jacobs, because these guys, half the time, they block the wrong guy, which is not true. It's not half the time, but it's too frequently. And so I think they're going to play 2 safeties back like the Panthers did, keep everything in front, force the Packers to drive the ball 10, 12 plays. Because remember, in this game that they lost on Sunday, they had 7 possessions. 6 of them were 9 plays or longer. 5 of them reached the red zone, and they only got 1 touchdown out of those 5. So my point is that right now, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm looking at it going, all right, well, that works. If they get in the red zone, but we do our job there, they take forever to get down there. We don't give up explosive plays. And until the Packers figure out a way to make them pay by Josh Jacobs running to daylight nonstop against them, I would expect teams to view that as the best way to approach them. And you've looked at the stats, or you just do better in the red zone. I mean, the problem in the game is the red zone. Now, it doesn't seem to me, I haven't checked the stat, but their red zone numbers, I think, were probably okay prior to that game.
I think they were top 10, but they settled for 2 field goals. They have the fumble by a guy who's obviously a young player. And then the 4th down thing, we spent some time on the word analytics and irritated the big fella. But the fact of the matter is that if you get a field goal there, you're still disappointed. You would have liked to have gotten a touchdown. Instead, you end up with nothing and almost end up with a pick 6 going the other way. But I view that as, it's hard to run 12 plays without doing things that set you back, right? And that's the philosophy, is that sooner or later, these offenses that can be explosive, and if you can keep them from doing that and make them drive the field, sooner or later they're going to get a holding penalty, or somebody's going to miss a blocking assignment, and that's what sets you up for the ability to short-circuit a drive once you get to the red zone.
And the part, I don't want to say I don't understand, but I assume it can solve that when you have Golden and Watson. I mean,
look, the idea, but no, look, the idea of that is, I guess you can't you can't double both of them, right? Like, I suppose you can go a corner and a safety on each one and bracket them.
You tell me how you do it, but you got two vertical threats, and we're not overselling the ability of either to be a vertical threat, right?
No, I don't think we're overselling it at all. But, again, the way you beat coverages like that is you run the ball effectively until you run them out of it. And then once you do, then you can take those shots, and if you have two guys of that ability, things get really interesting because they can't handle both of them running down the field.
Yeah, see, and my thought is I'm doing that first. When I got Watson back and he's healthy, I can't use Don Coryell.
Well, let's be honest. That's what they did. That's what they did against the Panthers, and even the one that he caught was into double coverage. The one that he was intercepted was into triple coverage. I don't want my quarterback throwing that ball because more often than not, it's not going to work.
Well, were Golden and Watson on the field at the same time and all those?
I don't remember. I have to look, but obviously Golden did end up leaving the game. And while LaFleur said it's day to day, obviously they're different if he's available in a game that they're not going to have Tucker Kraft. You would love to have all hands on deck, obviously.
Anything else I neglected to ask about? Is there news about this or that? We didn't even discuss the defense or the lack of a pass rush or the numbers for Parsons.
Their run defense was terrible. I mean, they cannot. But
that's what you would try to do with Parsons, right? That's the.
Yeah, and I mean, as Parsons said, I think there were two instances in the game where they dropped back for long enough that something could have happened. Otherwise, the little quarterback they have, Bryce Young, he was getting the ball out very quickly. So, and he only threw 20 passes, and he's not very good. So I don't blame them for having that game plan at all. But we'll see. We'll see if obviously Jalen Hurts is a different type of player, and the running threat is there, and this team has not been very good against him. So we'll see what Micah Parsons is obviously very familiar with his game, having been in the NFC East and seen him twice a year. Yep. So he's going to have to be on point, that's for sure.
Thanks, Jason.
All right, Homer, take care. Be good.
Jason will the All Packers all the time. Tim Van Vorn, he warned us. Gotta remember last week. He's like, Homer, he's a nuts. He has reservations about this team, and they were exactly what TVV thought or implied. We'll get his word. But I am next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
No more accidents. Well, at least we got them all cleared out of the way. Now we're just dealing with the delays out there. Southbound 41, going to be slow from the county line all the way down past Good Hope Road to about Capitol Drive. Northbound is slowing down from before Mayfair Road all the way up past Hampton. Eastbound 94, plenty of delays from 164 all the way to Springdale Road, again past Barker. Back on the brakes through the Zoo interchange all the way to the construction zone at Hawley Road. And then on westbound 94, we got delays from 17th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, Highway 100 into Waukesha County, pretty much all the way to Calhoun. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, clear and cool, a low of 35. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with rain likely at night, a high of 53. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Homer here for Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. This November, you'll save big with 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could get 0% financing for 5 years. Window Nation's proven quality windows are so good, you'll actually save money on lower utility bills and come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation even has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. Visit windownation.com to get started.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Catholic Memorial Football lives here. The Crusaders are marching to Madison.
Williams Jr., who's straight up the middle with a first down and more.
Catholic Memorial battles Mount Horeb-Barneveld in a postseason showdown you can't miss. The drive to win a state title continues, and we've got every snap. Brought to you by R&R Insurance, D&M Accounting and Consulting Services, Curative Care, Home Sealed Exteriors, and Tony Wendorf and Associates. Tune in Friday at 7 on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live video at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Tim Van Voort coming up in a bit. He has said it. Calm down. He was concerned about the Packers, not sold on the Packers, responding appropriately against the Carolina Panthers like I was. He was right again. Tune in to the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R and benefits consultant locked in. Narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. I hope you're old enough to know how good he was. Larry Bird, Dr. J, he'd take him on and never worried, if you were a Bucks fan then, about how he would do. He was, if not as good, pretty close to their equal. Takes you inside the team's pursuit of a championship. Again, that same Marcus Johnson. Hear from the Bucs stars on how competition is building chemistry and fueling another run to win it all. Find Behind the Bucks on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. And I always love telling you about Fisco Auto Body. It's a family business, owned since 1931. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And what's important about Fisco is the family business is that the family's still doing it. Fiscos are still fixing your car. Imagine how young they were then they were starting it and how many years they've been doing it. That's one of the reasons they're so good. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Any damage, Fisco has you covered. Yep. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco, so you remember the name. I don't know if we're breaking early. I don't care. I want to get as much TVV as possible. Tim Van Voort, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf and Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf and Associates.
The Previent Law Firm wanted to streamline their document printing. The firm's office manager, Chris Wilms.
And then I sat down with our rep, and he helped us find a better solution that would be cost-effective.
James Imaging Systems Managed Print Services Program. All your print technology bundled under one program that includes parts, supplies, and service, all for one low cost per print.
Right, a better solution to help us save money over the long term.
And there's flexibility should your business needs change.
Yes, so that again is where we get the value of our money to readjust it, to go and update our contracts.
Chris, sounds like you might be willing to recommend managed print services from James Imaging Systems to other businesses.
Oh, I definitely would tell them James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, managed print services, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700. 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen.
Aaron Glenn got a contract extension yesterday. Not in dollars, not in years. But what happened yesterday was Aaron Glenn got a contract extension. For all those people that thought he was going to get canned after year one, or maybe within year one if they didn't win a game, what happened yesterday was they said, you're wrong about that. Not only is he getting this year, he's going to get next year, and he's going to get the year after. He went from maybe 1 year to at least 3 years in one day yesterday. Because what they said, and I think this is the right thing to do if you're going to hire a man like Aaron Glenn, who's going to try to be a culture builder over the course of time. There are no preconceived notions anymore. There's no, in the past we did this or it didn't work out. No. Yet today is the first day of the Aaron Glenn regime. Let's be real clear about that. It's not Aaron Rodgers. It's not Quinnen Williams. It's not Sauce Gardner. Today is the first day of the Aaron Glenn regime.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Tim Van Voren is brought to you by The Ticket King, your local and most trusted source for Green Bay football tickets. Visit theticketking.com or call 414-273-6007. Welcome back to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The 3 most important letters in sports. Even better than those.
TVV.
It's Fox 6 Sports Director Tim Van Voren on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. Tim Van Voren is brought to you by The Ticket King, your local and most trusted source for Green Bay football tickets. Visit theticketking.com or call 414-273-6007.
Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports. 3-time Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year. And last week he tried to say, Homer, calm down. I'm not sold on this team. How am I going to put it perfectly, TVV, that explained exactly, to some degree, why what happened?
It's still confounding, Homer, that it could happen to that degree.
Even you were confounded because you all but set the scenario. Homer, they're not that good. I need to see more. I mean, my ears are good. That is kind of what you said, right?
It is what I said. I think I've been saying all year. There's something missing. There's something missing with this football team, and now the analysis is out, and there are a lot of things that you can certainly point to. After
I can tell you, the missing is they're missing a tight end. You didn't mean that when you said that, right? You weren't predicting.
I didn't. They were coming off a massive, awesome tight end gain when we were talking last week, and now that's not going to happen again this season. No offense to Luke Musgrave or John Fitzpatrick or Josh Wiley. The desire to do things with a tight end is going to be nothing more than desire the rest of the season. So I would say this, and it's a concern to this point. It could be a concern, that will last the rest of the season. It's a very dark day on Sunday. The key to the Packers.
Can I write that down? It was dark, and then when he got hurt, it was a very dark day.
And it was right after the clock turned back, and it got dark a lot earlier. Let's face it. It all fits together. And the whole thing
were you saving these for the show, or did they just all come out?
Homer, you and I are just talking. But, that's now the thing is to not make it a dark, if you're the Packers, to not make it a dark rest of the year. I think that's challenging. Homer, I've been telling you all season long, I think they needed an easy game just to have a break somewhere along the line. Well, they didn't get it at Carolina. It was a grind, and they lost. If you're an offensive head coach and you have 1 year left on your contract after this year, you've picked a bad season to lose to Cleveland and Carolina, scoring a combined 23 points. That's difficult to avoid. Now, the Packers of 2010 lost a very bad game late in the year to the Detroit Lions. They scored 6 points or something like that, and then won the Super Bowl. And everybody's legacy is made, and coaches who were about ready to be run off the field, stay with Mike McCarthy for the next 8 years. So everything can change. It could still change the rest of this season. The Packers had a ton of injuries that season.
But
it
you got to stop.
It doesn't look like it, Homer. It doesn't look like that's coming.
Are you telling me? Because when you mentioned 2010, people have, and I go, don't even go there. We're going to start looking at the players on that team, and some hadn't excelled. No. But you just brought it up, so maybe yes, kind of. What? Why do you? That it's possible.
Bringing it up, Homer. I'm bringing it up so that we don't think in November of 2025 I'm burying this team for the rest of the year and saying fire the coaches.
No, you never buried them. You said, I need to see something. Now, you haven't seen it. You saw the worst.
Nope.
My view, and I want yours again to see if maybe you'll ever agree with me, I think they just need to win the division. Just win the division. I don't care what you do in the playoffs now. Win the division, because this is now about starting the trend up like the Packers did when they got Reggie White. They didn't win the title the first year, and you don't have your tight end, but you'll have him back next year, and you can prove, again, how good you can be, because I think the division, it's clearly deep. Nobody's bad. Right?
Nobody's bad. Everybody's got a winning, a non-losing record at this point.
So,
Homer, Mike
go ahead.
Mike Holmgren came in 1992. Okay, you built together to that. Mike McCarthy, 2006. You built together to that. You're on a different continuum here with your head coach. I don't disagree with you. It could all be starting up and going forward.
Yeah, but it's a different group. It's about the same number of years with a young quarterback.
But you've had 7 years of a head coach. You've had 7 years of a head coach. Are you committing the next 3 or 4 to this head coach? Maybe
for a nice guy, man, this hurts. I don't have an answer.
I don't either. I'm not.
You're concerned that Kenny has it run its course? Coaches usually last, right, or not?
The second half of the season is very telling. Last Wednesday, Homer, we talked, and the mood was entirely different. Hey, they're coming off the Steelers game. Here they go. They pushed all the right buttons. This Wednesday, hey, they're coming off the Panthers game. They pushed all the wrong buttons. That's the way it goes in the quote unquote week by week league of the NFL. So the
especially
Packers,
this year,
if they beat the Eagles, if they beat the Eagles, hey, the pendulum swings back. But if they don't, Homer, if they lose this game, is it possible they're out of the NFC? They would be out of the top 7 spots in the NFC. I think it is.
Might be, but that wouldn't faze me. They got so many games left.
I agree, but I'm just saying that's how close all of this is this year in the NFC. And
right, and then I'll be worried. I'll be curious to what you say next Thursday if they lose, because they can easily lose. I think the Eagles should be favored by like a point. I know they're playing in Green Bay, but the Packers are favored by 2.5.
I'm surprised the Packers are favored. Absolutely, I would favor the Eagles in this game. But you know what? But 3 weeks ago, people in Philadelphia were so down on the Eagles.
Yes.
They were losing games, and they had to trade. I mean, how many trades did they make? They obviously felt they had major weaknesses. They traded for 3 or 4 guys.
I agree. That's a great point, because they have an aggressive GM, but he wouldn't do it unless he felt like he had to.
Correct. You're going to trade for Jair Alexander unless you thought you had to? No, not at this stage of his career and the injury history he's had. No. You're looking for any plug-in type player who might help get you over the top. And certainly his reputation allows him to have a lot of credibility when he does that. The Packers are going to try to build from inside, and maybe some of these players we haven't talked about yet are going to come on. That's what happened in 2010, Homer. All those injuries. Ask Mark Tauscher, one of those guys. All those injuries out that season. And hey, Howard Green, Pat Lee.
But you know what I
Jared
say?
Bush.
They were second in the league in points given up.
I know what
that's
you say,
been
Homer.
the key, and I don't know that this defense can be that good to where they can be a huge part of trying to do what they did or come close to what they did. Oh, so
the defense looked loud. The defense didn't look that great to me on Sunday.
They blew the
They
game.
gave up. But Homer, they gave up 6.
They blew. Okay, Packers scored 6 points, and with 7 minutes to go, he's been terrible. Jordan Love runs them right down the field, and I would say using the offense exactly the way they need to use it now without Kraft. And then they give up a 20-yard run with the hole that's the size of Texas. When they tied that game, defense, let's go. The quarterback's hard to take care of business, and they just – and so nobody gives Jordan Love for being like Favre, being like Rodgers. When you play badly, somehow you still can win it at the end. He didn't even get a chance,
You have to.
though he did his part.
Yep.
Where am I wrong?
And the Packers did have an end zone interception on a terrible pass by Bryce Young. Bryce Young, how do you win on the road if you're Carolina? You think, your quarterback's have a great game. No, he didn't. He had a terrible game, and they still won, which is a bad reflection on the offense and the defense for Green Bay.
So lastly, what effect did that game have on your view of this Packer team? That's what I want to know. I want to know what you're thinking right now about this Packer team, because you've nailed it so far.
It hasn't changed my view that much, Homer, because they have shown they can bottom out on you, but they've also shown that they can rise up and surprise you. The thing is, now you lose one of your best players, it's harder to put together one of those offensive efforts. It's all on the offense for this team. I know the defense has had its moments that you wouldn't really write home about, but the Packers have 2 losses this season. They scored 23 points in those games, Homer, combined.
That's right. You want to know the other games? 27-27, 40, 27-27, 35.
Tell me what the problem is.
The problem is that no offense is great. The problem is TVV. This is one of the weirdest NFL seasons I can ever remember. Every week there's a couple games I go, what? How did that happen?
Right.
And I can't tell you why. Do you have an answer?
I don't, and that's what keeps so many teams in it at this point. You can be up one week, down the next. You might come back right back up. Some of those teams were written off for dead. Now, hey, they're looking pretty good, and the trend will probably take them back down again. I agree with you. But the problem with the Packers is they've just been so wildly erratic. So you cannot have 2 of those games in your first 8. You just can't.
How appropriate is it to think of the coach first? Or where do you put the coach in? I haven't even brought up the 4th and 8. I got to move on because everybody. But I'll never understand that. I believe that was a bad high school coaching decision. But anyway, they back to where do you put the coach in this or any time when you have just what you said?
The coach is an easy target. I'll say that, whether right or wrong.
You're better than an easy target. I want to know your target.
I understand. Well, I understand. I would just say, okay, we were talking about 2010 a moment ago. You remember 2009, Homer? Maybe you don't. They were 4-4 in the middle of the season. They lost to a winless Buccaneers team. Josh Freeman was the quarterback. And coaches told me coming off the field, man, we're getting the moving boxes ready. We're in trouble. They won the next week. They won the Super Bowl the next year, and most of those guys were around for almost a decade after that. The results always dictate the legacies of a coach or a coaching staff. It's about the result. And the Packers
it's about the results. And what you've told me, sometimes they don't even know what's coming, right? That's what you're saying.
They don't. But if you've been there a number of years and your team has built up talent this year and made the trade it did in the offseason, you better get some results this year.
Yeah.
And those guys
Pebble,
know
put
it.
that one up.
I'm not, those guys know it and they believe it and they're confident that they can do it. That's the only way you can go about it.
And does the result change at all with no Tucker Kraft? It has to a little, doesn't it? But you should still do something. Harder. You should still do something special. They should still win the division.
They're not forfeiting the next 9 games because they don't have Tucker Kraft.
Right. But what can you expect and then say, well, given what happened? I mean, to have a good year, they got to win the division, right? Even with that injury, you got enough games. Is that you going to run with me on that one?
Games. I'm not saying you have to win the division. You have to get to the second round of the playoffs for sure. If not,
someone just bet me $100 saying the Packers will not make the playoffs. I said this is the easiest bet ever, right? I mean, they're making the playoffs. Come on,
Homer. I've listened to your show for many years. This is not the easiest bet ever.
Whoa. You know what? What did you say that game was? What
a dark day in November.
Very dark. And you've just added a little more darkness today. All right. I got to take it. Thanks, TVV.
Oh, Homer, always great.
Tim Van Born, Fox 6 Sports. Next.
Eastbound 94, just about a mile east of Highway